Hey everyone, welcome back to Dev Parkour. In this video, I'm going to talk about part 3 of my 3-part cross-site scripting, how to fix cross-site scripting segment. So, in the first 2 parts, we talked about script in the URL, and in the second part, we talked about cross-site scripting in, well, URLs that didn't exist. We had an issue with the 404 page, which was fairly easy to fix. That was actually the shorter of the 2 videos. If you haven't seen either of those, I'll leave them linked in the video description. I definitely recommend checking them out because they deal with different types of cross-site scripting than we're dealing with here. In this particular video, we're dealing with, well, it's still under the umbrella of reflected cross-site scripting, but it actually ends up getting stored. So it kind of has a foot in both camps, and probably will remove vulnerabilities that are showing up on both sides. Some that showed up under the stored cross-site scripting list, and some that showed up under the reflected cross-site scripting list. So let's get into it. So here we have the customer page, and I'm just going to refresh it and you'll see what's happening. So this might take a little bit to load because there are actually quite a few customers that the scan was able to enter. You can see the scroll bar over here is actually pretty long. Well, now it went away because we have our first contender. This is an alert. I did not put this in here. This is not supposed to be there. And you can see the page has actually not finished loading. This 14th customer right here, that's a very odd name. And there's very clearly an alert that is being shown up. So I'm going to hit OK, and we got a little bit further, but still an alert. And a little bit further, a little bit further. And then it looks like another one got in here as well. But remember that number from the first alert, it was 358. If we go over to AppScan, you can see this is the test that it was running. So basically what it did was it set a bunch of these parameters to this over here, which is basically enough to create enough to create an alert. It creates a script tag with an alert call and just showing a number. Obviously, for AppScan's purposes, it's fairly innocuous, but an attacker gets hold of that and they can do whatever they want. So that's bad. We're going to fix that today. But first, let's see if we can actually get that. Let's see if we can actually get this to show up this way. Try to reproduce it ourselves. So I'm going to copy that code, go over here, and let's just click Add New Customer. And let's just paste it everywhere. Every single thing is going to be sure. Okay, email address validates in the client side. There we go. Okay, so this, I think the browser actually helped us out a little bit and may have kind of URL encoded some of this stuff so that it doesn't show up incorrectly. But let's view source. I still have this pulled up. And let's grab everything that AppScan added. So I think Yeah, okay, so it is this, all of this. Yep, okay, so yeah, we've got our alerts going on. Oh, that actually did succeed in, or maybe that was a different one. That's interesting. All right, so let's just paste that in. Everything is going to get that. And if we did this right, we should get an alert here because it is a reflected attack in addition to a, there we go. Awesome. In addition to a stored attack. So we've successfully reproduced the issue, and now we know that we need to do something. But what do we need to do? Yep, that's cool. That's awesome. Success. We did it. All right. So now let's see what's going on in the customer new region of code. So that would be, let's start with controllers. So customer, controller, new. Looks like it posts back to the same URL. So we create a new customer, and then we do quite a bit of stuff, actually. Somehow, ultimately, we need to sanitize what's coming in. So we have a couple different ways we can do this. One way is that we could strip out bad characters, only allow characters that we know are valid. The other approach is we could just kind of HTML encode things. And I think that's the approach I'm going to go with right now, is just do some encoding. I don't really feel good about that, but I think that's what I'm going to do. Let's see. And I'm actually going to have to cheat here because it's been a while and I don't remember. I don't remember HTML special characters. Okay, that's probably what I want to do. Or maybe it's this. It's been a while. Either one, HTML special characters or HTML entities. Let's start with HTML special characters and see if that, see how well that works. So first, we know name is vulnerable, so we'll do that. Okay, root namespace. Okay, so let's see what else. That's probably not good. We're probably going to have to do some more around that because we're just basically just taking in the object from the request and just sending it into the database, you know, unsanitized, and that's not good. It's not something we want to be doing. But we know we can knock out a few of these other ones. So notes was an issue. Yeah. Okay. Well, let's start with that and see how far that gets us. So go back to here and customers, add customer. That's not what we wanted anymore. This is what we wanted. That's not the right page. Did that do anything? I don't know that it did. Lots of drop downs. Where are all our friendly script tags? Here we go. Here's our friendly script tags. Okay. So what this tells me is that this is actually going to take a little bit more time. This is going to be a little bit more involved. This is actually, I mean, it's clever code. It's a clever idea to just have the request create your objects for you. But realistically, this is not safe. So what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to go through and change this to actually, this is going to end up being an associative array of basically, that's why it didn't work, because I'm doing the same thing here as I'm doing here, just creating based on the object. So both of these places, what I'm going to have to do is actually build up the object, build up an associative array, and sanitize every single key, which is going to be a little bit painstaking, so I'm not going to subject you guys to that. But that's what I'm going to have to do here, so that that goes into the database sanitized. And yeah, hopefully that will work. I'm going to do that off camera and maybe give an update on that in the future. So stay tuned. More to come. Hope you enjoyed this video, even though it didn't have necessarily the most satisfying ending. That's just what happens when you're unsnarling a rat's nest of code. Even if you've written it, I wrote this code several years ago, but I don't remember how I did things. Clearly, I did something that I thought was clever back then, and now I know that it is still clever. It's just not secure. It's a bad way to do things, and unfortunately, such is the nature of trying to do clever things. Sometimes they're clever, but not necessarily good. Just because you can do something doesn't mean you should. So hopefully you enjoyed this, even though I wasn't able to finish fixing the cross-site scripting vulnerabilities. But if you enjoyed the video, please go ahead and hit that thumbs up button. Be sure to subscribe and click that notification bell so you'll be notified when the next video drops. And if you have any comments or questions, please leave them down below. I love responding to them. I love hearing what people are learning and what people want to learn next. So let me know in the comments, and I will see you tomorrow.